99.999% of the time, and I'm just making that statistic up. But the reality of it is, I've never had the opportunity to change somebody's personality. You might give them a raise, and that changes their attitude for a day and a half. But at the end of the day, people aren't going to change like that, you know. Let's see. Got another text here. Let me see. We got a few coming in. I'd say, let's see. Doug says, I'd say because we are left to find our labor from the bottom of the barrel sometimes. And sometimes it's just time for them to go. You can't help everybody. You know, I mean, to Doug's point, you know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that was the bottom, you know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that guy was the bottom of the barrel. But I think what we got to try to do, I think, as business owners and managers and problem solvers, and depending on what hat you're going to put on today, right? There's a lot of things we got to think about. You know, let's see. Mike says, this happened to me, but now when I look back, I could have been a better boss. I dropped the ball. Not saying it's right the guy walked off, but I understand. That's true too, Mike. I agree with that 100% as well. That, you know, sometimes we do drop the ball as the employer. Okay? Employer, boss, team leader, whatever you want to call it. You know, based on your company size. Maybe some of that is on the crew leader or the crew manager. You know, sometimes you got a good guy that you run. Maybe your expectations are too high. But on the other side of that, I think as an industry, as our industry goes, we seem to be pretty lenient on what we deal with. And maybe sometimes that leniency is what does come back to haunt us. You know, I was, to Mike's point, I used to be that guy. You know, my brother told me many, many years ago, he's like, man, if you don't ease up on people around here, we're not going to have anybody to work. You know, and he was right about that. We did need, I did have a little bit of a aggressive attitude, and like, but it takes you a while to understand that, first of all, nobody's going to do it exactly like you do it. And that's okay. As long as the job gets done, and the job gets done efficiently within the budgeted number of hours or the bid number of hours, that's okay as long as we're following company procedure, you know? And that took me a while to understand that. So, you know, the takeaway from that with, you know, and looking at Mike's post here, I think he's right. Sometimes it can be put on us to treat people better. But sometimes I think that's just their mindset, you know. Craig says he was apathetic about his job and working. Offered him different roles in the company, and it didn't matter to him. I hear that. I've seen that over and over and over myself, Craig. So, hey, man, don't feel bad about it. It's not your fault. He does, you know, it's his problem. Yeah, it's kind of your problem too. You need help, and you don't have it now. But at the end of the day, it's a pain when they go. But sometimes it gives you the chance just to go, oh, man, I'm glad that dude's gone. You know, you didn't bite the bullet and tell him to leave, but maybe you motivated him to leave by showing him that, hey, you're going to have a lot of responsibility. Got another text here from my buddy Ben Briscoe. He's got some good distributor background and dealing with a lot of people and working with a lot of people, calling on a lot of dealers. He says, you know, that's a learned behavior from a young boy. Lack of responsibility. Absolutely. You know, it goes back to, you know, there's a book out on it now, but before that book was ever published, you know, when we got up, we meaning me at home when I was growing up at home, the first thing we had to do, we had responsibility to make our bed every day. Got to teach responsibility at a young age. And a lot of that is missing. A lot of that's missing right now. And who knows how we're going to fix it. I mean, that's not that's not my end of the spectrum. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know how to fix it because, you know, I mean, it's, you know, if that's the problem and we know what's got to be fixed, we just got to find the right people. We got to find the right people, and that's certainly something we'll talk about on another show on how we try to go about finding the right people. But right now, man, it is a challenge. It's always been some type of challenge, a little bit more difficult. I'm trying to say this as nice as I can, but currently it's just across the board. Crazy right now trying to find people that care. That's really what it amounts to. You give me somebody that cares, and I don't mind training that person. But, trying to reset somebody's mindset, I think, is something that is just a losing battle. So with that being said, Craig, good luck on getting a replacement. But, I'm sure you'll find it. It's just a matter of getting it done and getting somebody else in there and getting somebody else trained up a little bit. And that process that we all go through, my friend. But you know what? You'll make it. You'll make it.